Hey, how you doing? Adam Post, publisher of College of the Dead, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, member of ComicsGate, and I'll tell you what, it's Big Pimpin' Day at ComicsGate. Yesterday was an amazing day, and it showed a lot of people inside, outside the ComicsGate comics publishing groups that an issue number two can be bigger than an issue number one. You don't have to sell less of an issue number two. In fact, in almost all cases, as long as you keep your promises and deliver quality to your customers, issue number two of a Comicsgate comic can be bigger than issue number one. I'm going to tell you all of what I'm talking about. You may have some idea by right now, but I'm going to show you all the sites and all the specifics. First things first, subscribe to this channel. Click the bell for notifications. You will not be disappointed. A lot of good things going on this channel. So yesterday I was on this great live stream. I had the pleasure of being there with Ethan Van Sciver launching Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet, and that is the sequel to the incredible hit-selling Cyberfrog, the relaunch from the comic back in the 90s. And not everyone, was quite sure how the book was going to do. I had a sense it would probably do very well for a lot of reasons. Even though comics traditionally can drop off after an issue number one, selling direct to consumer the way we do, engaging with our audiences on YouTube and Twitter the way we do, it's not the same as selling to a comic book store and then having sales drop off because retailers placing non-returnable orders, having to invest in comics to resell them to consumers, need to be very careful when they buy non-returnable comics. A number one of an issue is going to sell just on the basis of being a number one. People have curiosity about it. A number two can be riskier, so a retailer tends to order less of it. And no matter how popular a number one is, the retailer doesn't really know for sure what they can sell until number two, number three, and even number four has come out. And then to see has there been any changes in any of the artists or the writers working on a comic book. That's for a monthly comic book series sold through traditional mass market or sold through traditional comic book store channels. But it's just not that way when you're publishing direct to consumer through crowdfunding, the way that Ethan does and the way that I do and the way that many of the people at ComicsGate do. That's our whole business model is sell direct to consumer, engage as often as possible with your incredibly valuable audience, let them remember you and give them some entertainment so that they're interested in what it is that you're doing and they feel connected with it. Cyberfrog Wreck Planet, this is just after 24 hours and a few. We launched it at 1 o'clock yesterday. It's now 3:30 on March 16th. We lost on the 15th, so whatever, 26 hours in. It's up to $358,000. Now, Ethan did a great job in selecting his reward tiers. This was really, really great. This $200 executive honeycomb box set. He sold nearly a third of these $200 box sets. And I'll give you a link to the campaign, the box set. The box looks beautiful. I actually spoke to the box company this morning about the pricing for it because I see success. You see success, do the research, do the homework. I will dox the box. Ethan said the company that's making it. And I went over the numbers and really the minimum run is about 1,000 boxes. So you have to really kind of know that you're going to sell quantity, or maybe we do a combined box with another ComicsGate project. That's absolutely possible. We'll see. But in any case, fantastic product for Cyberfrog. Really, really cool collectible box set. And then, of course, he's got a J. Lee cover, attracting even more attention and bringing more of the 90s feel and ethos to it that Cyberfrog is all about. And Ethan personally is all about bringing back the success of the 90s. And then some other really great tiers. But this was really a terrific opportunity, a terrific core concept here to create a $200 retail product. And I'll tell you, the boxes are not that cheap to make. They're really not, even 1,000 of them. So this was a commitment and investment that Ethan had to make and know that, yes, he can sell enough of these to cover his costs. He, of course, also has a drawn-in tier for $5,000, original artwork that he's offering that people are buying, as well as the original cover, which he sold for $10,000. He's got some great supporters. But how does number 2 compare to number 1? Well, number 1, this is interesting, right? 358 compared to 538. Isn't that interesting? Well, the first cyber fraud campaign did $538,000, and that was over, I believe, a 60-day period. If it was a little shorter, so it was a little shorter, but I believe it was 60 days. That's fine. I mean, this is like going on day 2. He just creeped into day 2. He's got 2,901 backers here compared to 8,566 backers. Do you think that these 8,556 backers are going to come back? A high percentage of them are going to come back. Everyone loved their cyber fraud that they got. People were really satisfied with their purchase. So why wouldn't they buy again? And a lot of them did. So that's nearly 3,000 backers in less than 2 days. So this campaign is on track to do between $500,000 and potentially even $2 million just on this campaign without coming back with a new campaign with an additional variant. Should Ethan decide he wants to do that in a whole separate campaign as he did previously so successfully, it's up to him. It's just up to him to what he wants to do. So a number 2 can obviously be just as strong as a number 1, and it can be even stronger. But you've got to make it interesting, and you've got to deliver. You can't be greedy in terms of what you're offering. You've got to make a valuable package for your customers, but also be really careful not to overpromise. If you promise too much, if you promise too many cover variants, or you promise, too many additional features like an oversize or hardcover or something where you stop watching your numbers really carefully, it doesn't matter how high these numbers go up. You could be another cautionary tale like some of the other publishers that we've run into, that even though they had success, they're really struggling to fulfill their campaigns. Not Ethan Van Sciver, and certainly not me. I'm going to show you a smaller scale. So College of the Dead, book 1. It took 2 months to get to $5,310 with 100 backers. And I funded that on August 25th, 2019. Another 5-6 months later, I continued on In Demand, and we did just about 100% in additional sales. I've been fulfilling those all along. So we had 100 backers on when the campaign completed, and $5,300. Now I have 88 backers, and it's $4,960 after 8 days. So the numbers go up and down as time goes on. What will this campaign end at? I don't know what the campaign is going to end at. I'm going to do more promotion for it. We have some additional very cool product levels that are going to start coming up. I have a couple things I'm testing out. I'm going to plan to release. I have not done the major show, Ethan Van Sciver's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm expecting that when there's time, I'll be on that and meeting a lot of new backers that way. But look at this, 88 backers with 22 days left compared to, it took 60 days. It took 8 weeks plus to get 100 backers because I delivered for the 209 people that bought this stuff over time. Everybody who's read College of the Dead has said, hey, this is really, really well-written book. I had someone read College of the Dead too, someone who's doing the graphic design, the layout, because the book's completely done. It's ready to ship. Another thing that gives you a lot of leverage, just get a hold of your production. Be in charge of your production. Get your stuff out by having as much done of it in advance as possible. And whatever's not done, be incredibly knowledgeable of what it's going to cost to get it done. But she was reading it, the graphic designer, J.J. Jackson, who's an amazing talent in the comics industry for a long time. In any event, she's like, hey, this is a fantastic script. She's like, this is really, really something special, Adam. And J.J. does not give compliments like that easy. She used to run with Jim Shooter for years, so she knows top-notch editorial when she sees it. And she's even she was impressed. So people are going to be happy with this. So of course we're going to be able to sell College of the Dead book 3, spring break coming, announcements to be coming. But in any event, you make a good book, you deliver the book, and then look at this, book 2. Is book 2 going to do more than book 1? Well, I would think so. At this rate, I know a lot of other people are waiting to back this still. But as I'm doing this, I'm also being very careful. I'm not throwing a lot of stretch goals around because stretch goals would be a little difficult. I'm still just kind of building my following, building my audience. I had a nice presentation of our covers and of our graphic design. The graphic design was done by Ted Zagaro. Look how beautiful that looks for each of the tiers. And there's a great video here by Ted Zagaro, which is a very interesting, cool video to watch, directly related to the story of the campaign. So it's a better presentation the second time around, and we're getting rewarded for it. So what's my campaign going to do after 30 days? I don't know. I'm hoping it does really, really well. Then I might extend it. I probably will extend it if it looks like there's a good reason to, and there'll probably be a good reason to. And then, ultimately we'll stay in demand for a while before we launch book 3. So it'll generate more. Should it generate double or triple what the prior campaign did? Yeah, it probably should. And it probably will. It's up to how much promotion that I do. So don't let people tell you, oh, it's a fluke. Cyberfrog, it's a fluke. It can never happen again. Like, well, look, I'm not expecting to do $500,000 on my campaign, much less, $1 million or $1.5 million like Ethan's going to be doing on his second book. He's put the time in. He has the audience. My YouTube subscriber base, about 800 subscribers. I love all of you. I'm really happy to have you. And I'm pleased and I'm thrilled that I have you. I know a lot of my YouTube subs have supported my campaign. Ethan has 130,000 of them. I mean, that's more than 130 times. What is it, 150 times what I have? And, if you go look at the campaign, go do the numbers. Divide this by 150. You'll start to understand. Don't let people make it complicated. This is a very simple business, publishing comics, especially publishing for comics or ComicsGate. You will have support of all of the other people in ComicsGate as long as your book looks professional and it looks cool. Basically, as long as it's just professionally done and it's not totally amateurish, to be honest with you, you'll have support from everyone. We're going to have you on our YouTube channels. There's about 30 of us that run YouTube channels promoting ComicsGate projects, ours and other projects, because we want to build this thing. We want you to succeed. We want to succeed. And look, I might do triple the numbers that I did on my prior campaign. That'd be very good for me. We made a small profit here at this number. If we do 3 times as much, we're going to do a bigger profit. And on the book following, because I will deliver this as promised on time, June 2020, I'm sure we'll do even more business on the next one, as long as I continue to promote, continue to protect my reputation, and continue to help other people at ComicsGate to help me grow and do more business. And that's why it works. That's why it has nothing to do with, oh, well, yeah, but when people bought it the first time, they bought it because they wanted to own the liberals or whatever. It's not about that. It's not about politics. It's not about anything else. It's just about, if you buy a product from this handsome fella, Ethan Van Sciver, people know he will deliver it. It will be cool. And if you back this campaign, you're a part of it. You're a part of something exciting. You're a part of something that's happening in pop culture and comic books. And you're going to get all the stretch goals. So this started with 4 comics in it, the Executive Honeycomb box set. Now Ethan keeps blowing through stretch goals like, I don't know, Batman through red lights. What would you want to say? A lot of things. He's going, whatever it is that would be good to say. That's what I'm saying here. He's blowing through stretch goal after stretch goal, which means there's going to be more and more free stuff that's going into the Honeycomb box set. That also gets delivered with all the other backed items that are paid for items. You're going to get those additional things. So he's giving you more value as time goes on, which is, of course, what's normal for all stretch goals. It's just that Ethan is giving really impressive stretch goals, raising all the covers up to the paid comics of the chromium. It's going to be an incredible package. What people ultimately get for their money, they're going to be really satisfied with it. I admire it. I want to do the same sort of thing for College of the Dead. I just have to be very careful with my numbers because every time you add a stretch goal, you add cost, and you really need volume and scale to be able to properly deliver your sketch goals and control the costs of things. So we have to be very careful with what we're doing. And if it means that we can't budget to do a stretch goal because we don't really know our numbers, you don't do it. Just deliver what you have, be thankful for it, and then the next time around, do something big. That doesn't mean you can't work on other projects. This is the cover to one of my upcoming books called The Mermaids. It's Game of Thrones with mermaids, essentially, but cooler. And it's a full-color book. It's going to be amazing. keep an eye out for it. I'll have a sign up for it soon. My main focus, of course, is College of the Dead right now. But I just wanted to show you, like, you can do a lot. You can work on a lot of things. You can get your first book out. You can build your audience. I mean, look, going back to my small numbers here, 209 backers ultimately. I'm going to have more than 209 backers, not because I'm entitled to them, but because I'm going to earn them. I've earned these 88 backers on this campaign so far. My goal for this would be at least 500 backers. Am I going to get 500? I'm going to work hard to get close to it. I know I'm going to exceed the 209 backers because I'm going to work like I'm trying to get 500 backers. And then maybe after I get that, I'll work like I'm trying to get 1,000 backers. This is why I really suggest to people, understand, yes, some people are backing my project because they get to know me and they like me and they'll support anything I'm doing. But a lot of people are also a big quotient of it. In fact, I'm surprised sometimes to hear this. There are some people who I'm very friendly with who are interested in my comics and even interested in comics. They'll just say, like, Adam, zombies are not for me. So they don't want to back a zombie project, which is, it's completely fine. You can back people just by retweeting the campaign, and that my friends always do that. But some people are just like, they're not interested in zombies, grossed out by zombies. I think they have to be beautiful. I mean, even you have a beautiful girl right here, right? Surrounded by zombies. Now, yes, that's a little gruesome, but look how beautiful she is. So why would you not want that cover? How about this one? This one's not that gruesome. You could buy this one, right? There's zombies there. She's beautiful. Nobody's bothering her. A couple of broken fingers, which is a little hard to look at sometimes if you don't like broken fingers, but just the same. Not everyone's going to buy every book that you're doing. So if I start doing a book, like when I do the mermaids book, some of the people who don't like mermaids, or they're like, nah, you know what, the zombies is cool. I like zombies. I don't want to watch a whole story about all female mermaids in a Game of Thrones type of a highfalutin setting or whatever. I'm not interested in that. All right, then don't back it. You pick up the zombie book. But the thing is, yes, you build an audience for yourself personally, but no, it doesn't translate to every new project you're going to do. And also, there are people, and I've had people tell me this directly, very helpfully. Thank you for that, by the way. I forgot what your name is, but thank you for telling me that. That really wait to back projects number two, because number one, they first want to know that number one shipped and got delivered. And then secondly, that it merited a number two. So if a book, is good enough that there's a second issue coming out and there's a sequel coming out, then they look at starting to back comics, because there's a lot of one-off ideas. This isn't to say that you can't do a cool standalone item. There's a friend of mine, Narwhal, that's doing a standalone, beautiful I think it's 90-page book called Foreign Agent, which it probably doesn't suit itself to a sequel. And it's an amazing standalone, big, impressive project, and it's doing well. And that's fantastic. But the thing is, if you want to build a following for yourself, for your work, and for a storyline idea, you have to think in terms of sequels so you can take advantage of this. It's so substantial. It's so important. As long as, look, if I was to do, God forbid, College of the Dead 7, and I don't have as many backers as I had on number 6, I better hurry up and wake up and get some damn good feedback from my customers and understand why I'm losing people, and then deal with that issue. And that's another thing that helps you with doing sequels is you just get to test yourself every time and make sure that you did a good enough job delivering your story and your artwork, and that your customers are satisfied. So don't let anyone trick you, because it's tricking, into believing that issue number 2 can never do as much business as issue number 1. It absolutely can. But it's important that you satisfy your customer and that you're always working to entertain your following and communicate with the people who are following you. YouTube is essential. It really is. If you're not going to be on YouTube, if you're not going to have a YouTube channel, you're always going to be at the mercy of people remembering who the heck you are or what your project is. And that's not a good situation to be in, because a lot of us are doing more and more to gain more and more attention of buyers through YouTube. And, when Ethan and I and other people are on our YouTube channels and we're engaging with your customers, they're going to prioritize buying our stuff instead of yours. Okay. As far as getting onto YouTube, it's much easier than you think it is, especially if you're ComicsGate. Reach out to me. at Comics We Love. Reach out to anybody with hashtag ComicsGate and ask them about getting onto YouTube, like what's involved and would people really be helpful to you, and what if I'm shy? All those things. We all started off that way. We all work with it. We all got better at this over time. You have the benefit of other people that want to help you out to become successful on it. All right. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of this video, what you think of Wreck Planet. Do you disagree with me? Are you fundamentally wrong? Only kidding. You're allowed to disagree. I didn't do some exhaustive research of this. I mean, I could also point you to Graveyard Shift. I could even point you to Mike S. Miller's Lone Star, which did more business on #2. Hopefully he's able to ship it on time soon. But Graveyard Shift 2 did almost 3 times the business of Graveyard Shift 1 by John Malin. The examples are endless. You can build a really successful series. You can build a successful business, successful career, whatever your objective is here making comics. But you just have to follow some of these simple rules. Deliver for people, respect your customers, help other people promote so that when it's time for you to promote, you know you've done a few good things and that there's a bunch of people you can go to. The only reason I haven't promoted more is my own personal time availability, not because I don't have a list of people that have been great to me that have offered to have me on and be around more. So I'll be out there more too. You'll certainly see me. All right. Again, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, comments below. Great having you with me. I will see you again soon. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.
Ha ha ha.